High intensity interval training is a whole different ballgame than what most people think that it is. And in this video, I want to give you a breakdown of A, what high intensity interval training really is, but B, what kind of cardio you should be doing when you're intermittent fasting, or what you need to know to at least make an informed decision. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about before I even get into anything that has to do with fasting is truly give you the breakdown of what high intensity interval training should truly look like and what you're actually trying to accomplish. Most people look at high intensity interval training as just this way to get a crazy lung burner, just an awesome workout where you feel like you just torched a bunch of calories. That's all fine and dandy, but it doesn't always elicit the best metabolic response, and it doesn't always elicit the best body composition response. You don't always get the desired outcome. You may feel like you accomplished something, but that's not because high intensity interval training is bad, it's because most people are doing it wrong. Here's the thing. When we're doing high intensity interval training, we are activating the anaerobic system of the body. So I want you to think of high intensity interval training cardio the same way that you would think of weight training. Weight training operates with the same metabolic business in your body that high intensity interval training does. It's utilizing carbohydrates as a source of fuel. Okay, so what that means is you're in that rep range of maybe 6 reps all the way up to 15 reps in the weight room. Well, it's the same kind of thing that you're burning when you're doing a high intensity interval training workout. So let me give you an example of what most people think HIIT looks like. Most people will go ahead and they'll do like 1 minute of high intensity exercise and then 1 minute off. Then they'll go back and they'll do 1 minute on and 1 minute off. And this is great to gamify a process. I understand that it makes it easy, but that's not how the body works. The body doesn't necessarily know what 1 minute is or what 2 minutes are. The body just knows when it's fully fatigued or not. The whole idea with high intensity interval training is you need to 100% be pushing it to the max and then recovering for however long it takes, whether it's 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, to be able to be fully recovered to give it 100% again. So it varies from person to person on how long the rest periods should be. It is absolutely not uniform. So for example, you should be doing your high intensity training all the way pedal to the metal for like 15, 20 seconds. Because quite honestly, that's about how much energy you have stored up in your body to really perform at 90 to 100%. If you're going longer than 20 or 25 seconds, then you're not pushing it at 90 or 100%. Plain and simple, period. You should be going all the way, then recovering as much as you possibly need to be able to afford to push it 100% again. If you're going at 1 minute on, 1 minute off, you're probably going something like 50, 60% of your maximum and then just recovering for however long it takes. That doesn't really add up. We need to elicit the metabolic response that we get when we would normally weight train, where we're going all the way to failure. Okay, so now let's talk about how this applies with fasting. When you are in a fasted state, your body is not utilizing carbohydrates as a source of fuel. When you are fasted, your body is using ketones. It's using fat. It turns fats into ketones. When you are doing high intensity interval training, you're utilizing carbs. Now, I hear a lot of people talking about how high intensity interval training is going to help them get into a fasted state easier. Not really the case. You see, once you're already fasting, your body just stores the glycogen and puts it away. It's not like you have to burn through all your glycogen first before you start burning fat. So it's not like you have to drain your tank and then start using fats. It doesn't quite work all the way like that, although it does in some cases. But high intensity interval training isn't going to get you to the benefits of fasting any faster. If you like to do high intensity interval training, it should simply be because it feels good and because you want to get the maximum heart rate benefits. That's all there is to it. I like HIIT because it feels good. I get a good mental response from it. But if you're fasting and you're just looking to burn some fat, you're probably better off doing a little bit more of a steady state type of cardio. I'm talking like literally just 15, 20 minutes at like 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. That's gonna oxidize fat a lot easier and maximize the utilization of the ketone bodies. But if you are gonna do HIIT, then you're gonna wanna make sure you do it right. And the thing is, HIIT is really good right after you have some kind of high carbohydrate meal. That way your body can actually use those carbs and put them to good use so they don't get stored at all. But it's very important that you're doing the high intensity interval training properly. Now, when it comes down to timing your cardio later in the day, if you are someone that cannot do cardio in a fasted state, you have to do it after you've eaten, well, you're someone that might respond well to doing high intensity interval training as a form of cardio, but after you ate. So that would make sense